Now, Ursula von der Leyen won support from European Union lawmakers for another 5-year term as President of the European Commission, the EU's most powerful executive body. The 720-member European Parliament approved her with 401 votes in favour, 284 against and 15 abstentions. Now, von der Leyen, who is part of the centre-right European People's Party, was first elected in 2019 and will now serve for another 5 years after she promised to champion European defence with further military spending and committed to sticking, of course, to climate targets. Well, joining me now to discuss this and chew over the backroom deals is Peter Klepp, Editor-in-Chief of Brussels Reports. Welcome to the show, Peter. So in 2019, when I voted, it was a narrow margin of only 9 votes. Today, Ursula von der Leyen, in comparison, she breezed home. But Peter, the big question is, what kind of deals and with whom did she have to do to ensure she got that margin?
Well, crucially, she managed to convince the Greens to support her, and that is very worrying. You know, it's one thing that her own faction, the EPP, supported her, very questionable, but well, and the Socialist, of course, and the centrist Renew group. But the fact that the Greens support her means that she has made it clear to them that she will not be unwinding the European Green Deal. Now, the European Green Deal is a huge package of regulations, policy, central planning, really, that is imposing very expensive climate targets on industry, on farmers, which is why we saw all those protests. In the European Parliament elections, all the politicians and political parties that were supporting the Green Deal, they were by and large punished by voters. And nevertheless, we now see the face of the Green Deal, Ms. von der Leyen, back in charge.
And Peter, that's an excellent point, and one I'd like to delve into a little bit further. Isn't this just indicative of how Brussels worked? The electorate gave the Greens a battering at the elections in May. They not totally, but they rejected the Green Deal after those farmers' protests that we saw across Holland, across Belgium, even in Brussels itself, where they were setting fire to tyres right outside von der Leyen's office. They were getting deals changed on cheap importation of meat and vegetables from South America into the European Union. And then the electorate thought, they had a say. And today, the Greens were cheering. They were whooping with delight when von der Leyen got home, because even though the public rejected them, von der Leyen is making sure that their politics becomes law.
Well, and von der Leyen is really left green. She's nominally a member of the German Christian Democrats, but if you look at her policies, she went against her own College of Commissioners to push through these green regulations. But in a way, we shouldn't blame the Greens. Of course, they're delighted that they can that this is happening. I mean, really at fault here are the centrist parties, the German Christian Democrats. They did not even manage to get a promise from von der Leyen to reverse the ban on the combustion engine. So the EU is banning the combustion engine by 2035, but that's really tomorrow in industry terms. And you would think, I mean, that would be the very minimum for the EPP and the German Christian Democrats to support her. She did not even promise that, despite the fact that at the moment we see that European manufacturers, car manufacturers, that they are not competitive when it comes to electric vehicles. Europe is being flooded by Chinese EVs, and the same European Union that is basically imposing electric vehicles by banning the combustion engine is now very close to imposing extra punitive tariffs on Chinese EV imports. And so even then, the EPP doesn't get it. I was even told that the French centre-right, the party of Michel Barnier, who is very hostile to von der Leyen, that in the end, they have supported her to keep EPP unity. So I think that's really the problem. Also in Germany, you have the liberals in government. They could have, expressed a veto against the German government nominating von der Leyen in the first place. Once again, they went against their own voters by not putting this on the table.
OK, Peter, and what we've also seen is that despite the fact the right wing now make up 25% of the parliament in Brussels, they've been prevented from getting into positions of power as vice presidents and so on and so forth because, of course, the European Union does what it does and it protects itself and it freezes them out of power. Look, fascinating stuff.